In our village, death applied for visa and was rejected. Imagine bathing your grandfather's grandfather every morning.
We are rich, yes, but nobody's allowed to rest.
Long before the present generation was born, the village of Umuala was known only for hunger and suffering. The soil rejected crops, the rivers dried early, and poverty sat with the people like an unwanted guest. Desperate, the forefathers gathered one night at the edge of the forbidden forest, where no sane man entered after sunset. They called out to any power that could hear them. What answered was not human, not animal, but something ancient. The spirit promised them wealth beyond imagination, land that never failed, barns that never emptied, children that never went hungry. But the price was strange. No one from Umuala would ever truly die. The elders laughed. Death was the enemy. Why fear its absence? Without hesitation, they swore the oath, sealing it with blood and palm wine. The change was immediate. Crops grew overnight, yams as heavy as stones, cassava thick and endless. Traders from distant villages came and never left empty-handed. Gold dust appeared in streams after rainfall. Houses multiplied, wives multiplied, children multiplied. Songs replaced hunger cries. The elders praised themselves daily for their wisdom. The spirit never returned, and nobody asked why. They were too busy enjoying life. Death became a forgotten word, something parents mentioned like an old myth to scare stubborn children. At first, immortality tasted sweet. No funerals, no mourning, just endless tomorrow. Years passed, then decades. Children grew, married, and had children of their own. Yet the old ones remained. They did not grow younger, they only grew older. Backs bent further, eyes dimmed, teeth fell out. Yet they breathed, slept, woke, and lived. The village grew crowded. Every compound overflowed with bodies that time refused to take away. New huts were built on top of old paths. Farmland shrank. Still, no one died. At night, some elders stared into the dark and whispered prayers they never thought they would pray. Death, where are you? Immortality revealed its cruelty slowly. The elders could no longer chew meat. Even soft fufu betrayed them. Pap became their food. Water became their strength. Some could not walk. Some could not remember their children's names. Yet their bodies refused to shut down. Their eyes still carried awareness, and that awareness hurt. They watched life continue without them while they remained trapped in decaying flesh. Many cried quietly at night, begging to be released, but death never answered. The villagers began to understand that living forever was not the same as living well. Caregiving became a full-time occupation for the young. Morning meant bathing elders. Afternoon meant feeding them. Evening meant wiping saliva from their mouths and packing their feces with cloth to keep flies away. The youths complained bitterly. Dreams were postponed. Strength was drained. Some laughed through the pain, cracking jokes like, "At this rate, my great-grandfather will attend my child's wedding." Others were not amused. Frustration brewed quietly, like palm wine left too long in the sun. Some elders begged their children to help them die. Others whispered about poison or the river. But suicide was forbidden. It was said that anyone who killed themselves would never find rest, neither in the spirit world nor among the living. Their soul would wander endlessly, crying without answer. Fear silenced even the bravest, so the old endured, the young endured, and the village endured a suffering nobody planned for. Among the youths was Ikechukwu, a young man in his 20s with calm eyes and patient hands. Unlike others, he never complained. He bathed the elders gently, spoke to them kindly, and listened to their endless stories. People wondered where he got his strength from. Inside him, however, was a storm of questions. He did not curse the ancestors, but he did not praise them either. Something about a life without an ending disturbed him deeply.
Ikechukwu often went to the forest to fetch firewood. There, he met old men and women who seemed lost, weak, and forgotten. He helped them carry loads, guided them through paths, and offered water. They always thanked him strangely, staring at him as if measuring his soul. Sometimes, after he looked away, they vanished. He assumed old age made people unpredictable. He never imagined the truth. One afternoon, tired and troubled, Ikechukwu sat under a tall tree, his firewood untouched. An old woman appeared silently beside him. Her skin looked ancient, but her eyes were sharp. She asked why his spirit was heavy. Ikechukwu spoke freely, pouring out his confusion about a village where people begged to die but could not. The woman listened without blinking. When he finished, she nodded slowly and said, "You are kind. That is why you must know." The old woman revealed herself as a spirit tied to the ancient oath. She told him about the bargain, the greed, and the short-sightedness of the forefathers. Many of the elders he had helped in the forest were spirits, watching to see if kindness still lived among humans. She explained that the curse could be broken, but not without courage. Ikechukwu felt fear wrap around his chest, yet he listened.
To reverse the oath, the village had to confess its greed publicly. Wealth must no longer be hoarded. The people must accept death as part of life again. And one living person must speak for all, without fear of spirits or elders. The woman told him plainly, "That person is you." Ikechukwu did not sleep that night. When Ikechukwu spoke, chaos followed. Some elders shouted, others wept. Many feared death more than suffering. The young stood quietly behind him, exhausted but hopeful. That night, thunder shook the village. The forest roared. The spirit demanded a final decision. Fear hung in the air thicker than smoke. At dawn, the oath was reversed. The wind changed. The air felt lighter. That same day, the oldest elder slept and did not wake. There was no scream, no struggle, only peace. Others followed in the days after, dying gently, gratefully. Funerals became celebrations of rest. Tears flowed, but relief flowed more. Space returned to Umuala. The young breathed again. Laughter replaced resentment. Wealth remained, but greed loosened its grip. Death was no longer feared, it was respected. Ikechukwu became a quiet hero, never boasting, never proud. Years later, elders told the children the story of the village that once refused to die. They taught them that life without an end is a curse, not a blessing, and that kindness, courage, and balance are greater than gold. Moral lesson: greed without wisdom poisons generations. Life has meaning because it ends. True wealth is balance, not excess.